All right, chat. What is freaking good here? All right. So, guys, Thursday, December 4th, we're now tapped in and tuning in to the Coin Zone. I'm your host, Crypto with Paul. It is a pleasure to be with you guys. Love to be here. Love to be tapped in with you guys. Another great day. Let's get right to it. So, what I want to discuss today, make sure you guys are hitting that like button as you're joining, as you're tapping in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well if you haven't already. So, guys, a couple things that I want to turn our attention to today during this live stream. Number one, SEC Chair Paul Atkins, that is who you see on the screen right here, made an announcement yesterday, sitting down with Fox News. SEC Chair just announced live on Fox that Bitcoin crypto market structure bill is about to pass soon. That is the Clarity Act that we've been waiting for. Many individuals thought we'd get it maybe at the end of Q3. That did not happen. The government shut down. We're in Q4, etc. Still no dice. Maybe before Christmas, maybe before the end of the year. We'll see. Either way, I'm certain we'll get that in Q1, if not Q4. So, appreciate you guys tapping in. Already a couple of you guys joining on the live. Make sure to comment, interact with me. I appreciate it. Let's just continue to move on. A couple other things I also want to talk about that we'll get to. So, if this market structure bill, the Clarity Act, lands on Donald Trump's desk, bro already made an announcement saying, yeah, if it lands on my desk, that's getting signed. That's going through. So it's great to see that. The president, the SEC, the CFTC, everybody on the same page here. Scott Bessent, we're going to hear from later as well. A couple clips. Also want to take a look at a couple clips. A couple other individuals as well. There's probably one more. I mean, yeah, we'll listen to Paul Atkins, and then we'll get to Scott Bessent later. But right now, real quick, let me just lower the background music. Let's get right into Paul Atkins and this quick 27-second clip from yesterday, sitting down with Fox News. This is SEC Chair Paul Atkins. Let's take a listen.
Now, this market structure bill that's going through, the Clarity Act that was passed by the House. And so that we'll see where that goes in Congress. And so I'm hoping that they'll be able to get that through. But in the meantime, we in the CFTC will be, and already are, actively working on harmonizing our two systems.
All right, so that is good right there. Real quick, I'm going to play that again real quick, just in case you guys didn't hear. Okay, we're just going to make this bigger. We're going to go back over to Paul Atkins. Let's listen to that one more time because he said something really important towards the end there.
So through on the president for signing that bill. Now, this market structure bill that's going through, the Clarity Act that was passed by the House. And so that we'll see where that goes in Congress. And so I'm hoping that they'll be able to get that through. But in the meantime, we in the CFTC will be, and already are, actively working on harmonizing our two systems.
All right. So that's basically what I wanted to focus on there. The SEC, the CFTC, harmonizing their two systems, as Paul Atkins said it. Why is that a big deal? Well, in my eyes, it is a big deal because we're still looking for clarity, right? We're still looking for the Clarity Act, the SEC, the CFTC. We're looking for legislation, very positive legislation, to be put forth, to be passed. That way, more institutions, retail has more clarity, and individuals, institutions, etc., just have the green light. There's no questions, there's no second guessing, etc. It's green light. Let's get it. That is important. And if the SEC and the CFTC are actually working hand in hand, as opposed to arguing over who gets to regulate what, etc., I mean, that's just going to speed up the process. So let's look right at this. This, believe, came out yesterday, or this morning, actually. This morning. This is from this morning, guys. Acting Chairman Pham. Okay. I'm not saying what's up, Pham. This is this guy's last name, PH, all right? Not F. Acting Chairman Pham announces first ever listed spot crypto trading on U.S. regulated exchanges. So, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission Acting Chairman Caroline Pham today announced that listed spot cryptocurrency products will begin trading for the first time in U.S. federally regulated markets
on CFTC registered futures exchanges. Huge. The announcement marks a significant step in the Trump administration's pledge to usher in a quote-unquote golden age of innovation to make America the quote-unquote crypto capital of the world. All right. Now listen, guys. I've seen many people flame Trump. All right, saying he said all these things on the campaign trail, all these promises, and they haven't happened yet. I want to remind you guys, you don't just wave a magic wand and then everything happens. These things take time, okay? And that's actually a good thing. A long, arduous process to get laws passed in this country. It's not like, you know, we're a democracy, correct? But you don't just have a quick vote and then something is enacted and it passes. This is meetings, a ton of meetings, gathering the brightest minds in this industry to collaborate across months to make sure that what will be passed is correct. So that way you don't have to go back and fix something, or in a year, 2 years, years from now, you know, there's some sort of red tape or innovation stifling because the bill that you passed years ago, aka what we're discussing, you know, the Clarity Act or the Genius Act that we also saw, had language in it or wasn't including something that was detrimental or hurtful. So this is a good thing, guys. And finally, we're seeing this all come to fruition. And that's why I think a lot of individuals right now are super bullish about Q4, potentially Q1, and just 2026 in general, because we're seeing a mix of so many different things happening at once right now. And we're going to cover a couple of them right now. So let's just continue this. The CFTC says it has developed a comprehensive plan for the US to reclaim its place as a world leader in crypto. Now let's go take a listen to Scott Bessent, kind of just recapping what I just said. Now this is from Scott himself. And if you guys don't know, Scott is a G, guys. Scott Bessent flat out told Andrew Ross Sorkin to his face yesterday at that conference. We looked at one of the clips. That is where Larry Fink and Brian Armstrong linked up. And Larry Fink flat out admitted that he was entirely wrong for years on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Mind you, he said this in front of a room of a ton of investors, institutional CEOs, etc. Okay, so let's just listen to Scott Bessent real quick as the background music fades out. We're going to keep that out for a second. Scotty doesn't know. Scott Bessent, what is he saying? Let's take a listen.
As I said in the cabinet meeting yesterday, I think 2026 is going to be a great year. The president set the table. You know, he's done peace deals, trade deals, tax deals, and the economic policy is really a three-legged stool. As you said, in Trump 1.0, we had the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So we had tax, but this time it's also deregulation, and the amount of regulation coming off the books, I think we're going to talk about that later, is just astounding. In the U.S., that we've gotten out of the ability to make things and to do things in a productive way. And then the third part is trade. And these trade deals, they are bringing in the trillions of dollars and opening up markets for U.S. companies, bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. As I said in the cabinet meeting yesterday,
right.
I think 2020.
So, and, you know, I gotta agree with him, to be honest, guys. Let's bring the background music back in. Chat, let me know what you think about Scott Bessent's remarks, because I feel like, depending on who you listen to, it's a mixed bag of what we think the future is going to look like here in 2026. In regards to the markets, Kalshi has odds, recession odds right now at around 30% for 2026. So again, depending on who you listen to, right now, you know, I did a short about Kalshi, I believe is out on our channel now. You can go check it out. But these prediction markets are more accurate, basically, than anything out right now. We just saw Kalshi partner with CNN, guys. All right, that is huge. That's a huge partnership. We now have legacy media, you know, basically hopping on prediction gambling markets because they understand. Not only is it, you know, not the aspect of making money, but the aspect of predictability. So if they're going to want to talk about things in their platform, aka, let's be honest, right? What's up, guys? Crypto Nuff, Chief the Yorkie here. My channel got deleted. What? Chief, what's going on, brother? What happened to your channel? What are you doing? Anything fishy? Chief the Yorkie, new channel, Crypto Nuff stuff. I like it. Glad to see you tapping back in, bro. That's crazy. King, what's up, brother? Thanks for the comments. What's up, Paul? Nothing much, brother. Thank you for tapping in on this Thursday, December 4th. Always appreciate you guys tapping in. Chief Yorkie, that sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. That's crazy. Freaking YouTube, right? Yeah, that's basically it. So just switching over to this, guys. Again, we're going from Scott Bessent. We're taking a look at all these different things that are happening right now. I just mentioned Larry Fink, so let's go over to Big Larry the Lobster. Okay. BlackRock's Larry Fink says several sovereign funds are quietly accumulating Bitcoin, increasing their buys when Bitcoin dipped into the 80K zone. Now, is that convenience? I mean, you ask me, guys. We saw the biggest liquidation event in history in October, $19 billion. Okay, and then what happened? That's when the institutions decided to get in. Was it coordinated? Was it manipulation? I don't know. Supposedly there will be reports. There will be investigations. So stand by. You know, once those get released, we'll probably cover them here in the Coin Zone to see what the heck happened in October. Let's keep it moving. So from Scott Bessent to Larry Fink, now let's go on to Charles Schwab. All right. $12 trillion. Okay, that's with a T, guys, not a B. Okay, alphabet. Schwab is about to eat everyone's lunch in crypto, launching in early 2026. Okay, so $12 trillion. Charles Schwab is finally stepping into crypto, and not in a small way. They're planning to let users trade spot Bitcoin and Ethereum in the first half of 2026, right from the same account they already use for stocks and ETFs. That's huge. And I just saw, actually, you know, this is a post from Cryptos R Us, but I also saw the CEO of Schwab make a statement himself. And that's a big shift, guys. Schwab is the platform for your parents, coworkers, financial advisors. They actually trust, you know, big names like Schwab. We just saw Vanguard a couple days ago announce that I think they're offering a Bitwise portfolio, you know, which at first I only thought it was ETFs that included Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. But now supposedly they're doing the Bitwise. I saw Angry Crypto tweeted about this. Channel friend, shout out to Angry Crypto. Channel favorite, to be honest. Let's get to Angry. I'm going to get to Angry Crypto real quick. Pull up a post he did, because I don't want to get this wrong. And I know that he quoted this correctly. So as I find this post real quick, you guys let me know in the comments how big this is. Vanguard basically sidelined themselves for 2 years or so. You know, in 2023, BlackRock made massive announcements, started to dip their toe in, and it really changed the game. And Vanguard was like, yeah, you know, we're not doing that. And they're pretty stupid for that, just to be blunt. Why are they stupid for that? Well, they could have started investing into Bitcoin at around the $30,000 price range, but they decided to wait. Now Bitcoin's at 90K. Okay. You see where I'm going with that? Like, come on, guys. It's laughable. You know, Michael Saylor has the quote. I'm sure Andres Anopoulos, whatever. There's a lot of people who make this quote, right? Everyone gets into Bitcoin at the price that they deserve. Wow, a lot of tweets here from Angry Crypto. I will get to this, however, guys. Just give me 1 second, and here we go. Oh, I had it, and then I clicked the wrong button. Hate to see it. I'll get right back to it. But it is Bitwise. So we have Bitwise. Okay. This is from Angry Crypto. Just in Vanguard. Now, this was 2 days ago. So again, Cryptos RS, I think, summarizes pretty nicely. As we see the market draw down, that's when all these institutions decide to get in. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. We'll see. Vanguard with 11 trillion in AUM and 50 million investors list the Bitwise 10 crypto index fund, offering exposure. Now, you ready, guys? Avalanche, Bitcoin, Cardano, Chainlink, Ethereum, Litecoin, Polkadot, Solana, Sui, and XRP. So not just BTC, ETH, right? A lot more, guys. And it's interesting. You know, I had one of my lives last week. You guys sticking with me. Appreciate you. King, tapping in. You're welcome. Thanks for being around. As of Q3, there are at least 1,400 institutions that control at least 100 million in assets on IBIT shares. Wonder how many by Q1. That's insane. Thanks for the stats, King. Love to see it. That's crazy. But yeah, guys, I made a video last week. We discussed, why is this cycle different? Well, it depends on what camp you're in. If you're in the Leia Halpern camp and you think that we have 4 more years of pain, moving forward from this point, and we're in another bear market, or you can be amongst the camp that we haven't seen that blow off top yet. Q1, Q2, or Q3 maybe of 2026, we can see insane highs again, new all-time high for Bitcoin, and then altcoin season. Now, but why is this different from previous cycles? Well, it's different from previous cycles because we didn't have BlackRock institutions in 2017 and 2021. Now we have billions and trillions, right? Charles Schwab, Vanguard, BlackRock. We just, trillions of dollars potentially flooding into the space. And guess what? They're picking winners and losers, like this IBIT. You have Cardano, Chainlink, XRP, Sui, Solana. If these projects are being mentioned in the same breath as these institutions of putting billions of dollars of capital into it, well then, yeah, you can probably expect those to do well over the rest of the industry. You see what I'm saying? Listen, guys, I'm a huge fan of Kaspa. As you guys know, we've done a couple Kaspa interviews on the channel here, right? Kaspa, realistically, is a better technology than Bitcoin, is faster than Solana, potentially more secure, right? But guess what? Nobody's freaking talking about it. So if you're a retail investor, these are all things to keep in mind. Again, guys, big fan of Kaspa. On paper, it's probably better than most projects. Like, probably literally better than most projects. But guess what? No one's talking about it right now. So do I expect Kaspa to outperform the cryptocurrencies in this list here, listed by Angry Crypto in this Bitwise 10 crypto index fund? Probably not. Probably not. So it's also more about common sense, guys. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Maybe have a similar approach to one of the best macro investors of all time, in my opinion, Stanley Druckenmiller. Or, if you want to, go check out our latest interview here at the Coin Zone with Sidel, the Aussie crypto queen. I'm going to share this tab instead. Look at our channel here, guys. The Aussie crypto queen. This is our interview from 2 days ago that just dropped. Sidel is great, guys. She's taught over 20,000 individuals how to invest in crypto safely and wisely. And a piece of advice, I'll give you a little token, a little nugget. All right. So if you guys haven't watched it yet, but something that she said to me that I for sure agree with, and I have a similar strategy, is you don't want to spread your investments across 100 projects or 50 projects or maybe 30 projects. Stanley Druckenmiller and Sidel as well are amongst the camp that you diligently do your research and stay up to date every single day on a handful of projects that you genuinely believe in and have high conviction in. That's how Stanley Druckenmiller made his money, guys. We're talking about a billionaire, one of the best macro investors of all time, just came out and made this statement. Don't spread yourself too thin. Quote unquote diversification is great, yes, but it can also be a hindering, and it's also just kind of the average person's way into investing. If you actually want to make multiples of, diversification, let's say you're in an S&P index, instead of focusing on, the S&P 500's 500 projects, pick 5, right? That does come with more risk. The risk reward is higher. But again, if you're diligently and you have high conviction over those 5 projects, you know exactly what's going on. It could pan out very nice compared to just spreading everything thin and seeing what the hell happens. Let's keep it moving, guys. The entire world is now moving into the Bitcoin standard, right? Great book. You guys should go read that book. But this tweet right here reminds me of something that Cynthia Lummis said recently. Now let's read this first. Just in, Russia's state-owned bank giant VTB just said they recommend a 7% allocation to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Okay, guys, this is Russia's state-owned bank. Russia, guys. Okay, the global Bitcoin race is just beginning. And why does it remind me of something that Cynthia Lummis just said recently? Because she said, well, wouldn't it be nice if the powers, the superpowers of the world, the United States, China, Russia, etc., instead of battling over war and having it be an arms race or a nuclear arms race, etc., imagine they're just racing to Bitcoin. There's nothing, that's not going to cause deaths, guys. We're not sending ammunition to nations. None of that. Okay, does that make sense? Great. And at the same time, you're kind of taking away the institution's power, and it's very powerful. So let's keep it moving. The Oracle, good morning. Appreciate you for tapping in. Love to see it. Man, you guys are consistent as all hell. This is the best. You guys are genuinely the best. And stay tuned, because we're thinking of some fun stuff to cook up for you guys here on the channel. We might have something, I'm trying to think of some stuff. We're as a team trying to think of some fun stuff for you guys. So stay tuned. We might have something planned in the future. But that's really it. All right, so let's get to this. Ash Crypto, in the last 72 hours, just continuing on this whole situation about institutions, the direction that we're heading. Let's recap. Ash Crypto did a small little recap. This is from this morning. In the last 72 hours, $11 trillion Vanguard open access to crypto ETFs. Number 2, $1.8 trillion Bank of America recommended a 4% portfolio allocation to cryptocurrency. $12 trillion Charles Schwab announced its plans to offer Bitcoin and Ethereum trading in early 2026. And all of this happened after Bitcoin and alts went through a brutal crash. Maybe that's a coincidence. Again, guys, probably not. Okay. Now, shifting gears a little bit. I'm sure if you guys live online, how most of us do, the Oracle. We enjoy the content, always relevant and informative with great production quality. Thank you, brother. You guys are the freaking best. I'm hitting the applause button for that. Try hard for you guys. Love to see it. This is giving the market some great momentum. Absolutely. King, I take some DeFi liquidity pool tokens, airdrop rewards to the holder address. You guys always have great comments too. Like, you guys are tapped in just along with me. I'm learning from you guys as well. 100% King. Love to see it. But I want to shift gears a little bit. And I was going to say, if you guys live online like I do, you've probably seen the video from yesterday of CZ trolling Peter Schiff with a fake bar of gold. Peter Schiff did not know whether to decipher if it was real or not. Now we're talking about the biggest gold bug of all time. We all know Peter Schiff has infamously made a living on crapping on Bitcoin as a gold bug. And in my opinion, just embarrassing himself every time he opens his mouth. But all in good fun. Shout out to Peter Schiff. I don't think he's a horrible person. I think he has a lot of good takes macro-wise too. I've listened to him for a while. King, LOL, I haven't seen that one. CZ, funny for real. Let me pull it up for you guys. If you guys haven't seen this then. It's on X. I'll pull it up on X. We'll play the video then. CZ, Peter Schiff. This was hilarious, guys. I gotta be honest. If I can spell Schiff right. Whoops. Okay. So let's play this quick. Let's play this clip real quick of Peter Schiff absolutely being trolled by CZ. And then we'll get back to, what I wanted to talk about with gold. And we're going to look at some other charts as well. Let's get right to this. Let me actually pull down the background music real quick so we can just get to hear this more than anything. All right, Peter Schiff, man. First time I ever saw Peter Schiff was in 2022 during a debate that he had with Richard Hart. It was a gold versus Bitcoin debate. If you guys have seen that video, let me know in the comments. That's a great video. Okay, so let's get to this clip. You guys are going to laugh at this. Shout out to CZ.
Has some, I think it's Kyrgyz language. I took it back from Kyrgyzstan. He has a certificate. I got this from a very important person from Kyrgyzstan. Very recently, just completely by luck. So we take it out. It's pretty heavy. I'll put this down. You see, it says Kyrgyzstan, 1,000 grams, fine gold, 99.9.9, and a serial number. Try it.
Yes, yeah, it's heavy.
Is it real gold or no?
Well, I don't know. I mean, is this what you're trying to? I mean,
guys, come on, bro. Oh my god. All right, look, guys. If you're watching right now, you love gold, you're a gold holder. I'm not crapping on it. As you guys know, you've listened to me describe one of the trades I made in the past was I bought into silver at around 20, 22, 23-ish dollars. And held it to around, I forget what my, basically almost 2x'd it. I mean, silver just hit an all-time high, but I used that and put it back into Bitcoin. Precious metals are going to be here, guys, whether you like it or not. And gold has now outperformed the S&P over the last 30 years because of its gains in 2024. US took $4 billion from CZ, and he's still out here cracking jokes. That guy is rich. Yeah, CZ is rich. You're absolutely right, King. And I actually met somebody from China a couple months, probably 2 months ago now. Was going on a hike with my girlfriend here in Arizona, and we ran into someone from China who actually worked as a developer for Meta. And I asked him about CZ, and he said CZ is like revered as a god over there. Justin Sun, not so much. Little iffy on Justin Sun. That's the word on the street. Okay, you heard it here first. But CZ is a very big, powerful figure over in China, supposedly. Even though he doesn't live there, he's a Canadian citizen. But yeah, that is hilarious. So back to it. Let's stick on this gold route as I wanted to do. We're going to take a look at a couple, probably one or two charts here. Let me just get to it if I can even find it. Okay. So, this is huge, guys. Bitwise just came out and said, because we talked about this on yesterday's stream as well, charts are showing the money is starting to flow from gold to Bitcoin. What happens when that happens? Bitcoin all-time high. What are we also seeing at the same time? M2 money supply expanding, government's printing. Liquidity just came into the space December 1st. Okay, there's a ton of things to be bullish about. Liquidity is the #1 driver of these cycles. So do I agree with Raoul Pal? Do I agree with a lot of these individuals? Okay, you talk about 2026 being the cycle top. I think I do. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Okay, now Bitwise came out and also said just a 5% rotation from gold to Bitcoin would send Bitcoin to $242,000, $391 per coin. So just a 5%, guys. Currently, fair market price of Bitcoin should be around 107. Okay, if I go to Coinbase, let's go to Coinbase real quick. What are we currently sitting at? Well, Bitcoin's only at $92,000, guys. We had a market correction. We're still hanging out around here. ETH is back down to 3,100, which is crazy. I fully expected ETH to be at least closer to maybe for a 3,800, maybe expected. That was more fair for me. But it's crazy to see. ADA is below 50 cents. Solana back down under 200. In fact, under 150. Crazy to see, considering it was at 250 around almost this time last year, and over 200 for, over 150 for most part of this year, back under 150. Solana struggling, Hyperliquid, a drawdown, Chainlink at under 15 cents. I really don't understand this. Chainlink is one of those projects that has everything right, kind of like Cardano in my eyes. Everything is going right for it. You have insane partnerships, like the amount of stuff that Sergey Nazarov, the United States, and Chainlink are doing right now is going to set up Chainlink to be a huge player for a long time to come. Yet the price does not reflect that. Kind of crazy to me, down 38% on the year. But what does that mean? What is that saying to me, guys? It means just have a little bit more patience. Chief the Yorkie thinks we might have hit the top already. I mean, we very well could have. Very well could have. I mean, to me though, it's if we're seeing this much liquidity enter the space, and then you have an economic environment that positions risk on assets as being something that people will put their capital in, even if it's just a small percentage, that will do something to the markets. But I mean, Chief, you might be right. You might be right. We'll see. We gotta wait. We gotta wait and see. But just moving forward, keeping this going here. Just wanted to show this graph as well. This is Crypto T. 2 points here with the gold Peter Schiff CZ video. The whole point of that video, guys, is you can fake gold. That was a fake bar of gold. That was not gold that Peter Schiff held in his hand, and he couldn't decipher if it was or not. All right, you can't do that with Bitcoin, guys. You can't fake Bitcoin. You can't recreate it. You can't do any of that. Okay, it is what it is. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. Can't say the same thing about gold. Also, look at this graph here. Why do I think this is important? Because it's true. Frequency of audits. The Fort Knox Gold Reserve versus Bitcoin. The last audit for gold was over 50 years ago, 51 years ago. In fact, people are calling for, don't look at the gold reserves. Don't go in there and take a look at how much we have. Why? Because there's probably not that much. The amount that we say we have, that's probably not how much we have. No shot. So what would happen to the price if we were to do an audit and then the information would publicly come out? Oh, well, we don't actually have that much. I would assume something pretty bad to the price would happen. Okay. On the other end of the spectrum, the last audit for Bitcoin was 10 minutes ago, and they occur every 10 minutes via the blockchain. Huge difference, guys. This is accountability that's programmed into it. Many reasons, many reasons why Bitcoin is just a better hold, in my opinion. Now let's move on. One of our favorite individuals, Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan, right? Jamie Dimon's under hot scrutiny right now, not from just, normal ass individuals like you and I, retail individuals. We got big names like Grant Cardone going after Jamie Dimon, saying, I'm closing my accounts. If you're like me, close your JP Morgan accounts. All the investigations that JP Morgan will probably see in 2026 is not going to be good. Not going to be good. We also covered here on one of our videos on the channel the hypocrisy. JP Morgan is trying to kill the crypto industry because they're scared, right? They're going after Ripple, trying to get their banking license. Operation Choke Point 2.0, 3.0, however you want to look at it. And at the same time, JP Morgan, what did they do? They were the biggest facilitator of Jeffrey Epstein's human trafficking ring. All right, this is all over the news. This is not, fake or conspiracy or anything. Go look it up right now. We covered it extensively in one of our videos, probably a month or so ago now, 2 months ago. Go check that out, guys. Absolutely insane. So JP Morgan will have some issues in 2026 moving forward. You could probably bank on that. All right, so as we wrap up here towards the end of this video, let's just take a look at how the rest of the market is doing early on here in December. Now, again, guys, I feel like, we have individuals saying by February or March, we could really see prices look a lot different. Now, we'll see what happens. But just take a look at the top 30-ish here, top 50 projects here. Monero climbing back in. Will we see Zcash stay relevant? Who knows, guys? Midnight is coming out in a couple of days, 4 days. Midnight is being launched on Cardano. That's going to be a huge project, a huge narrative for privacy. Midnight already has a plethora of partnerships, one being Google. All right. That is not small potatoes. That freaking Google, guys. All right. Avalanche up 1%. Zcash up 1% as everything else is in the red. Interesting to see. Kronos. Shout out to the CRO fam. We have a lot of CRO, individuals on the channel. We did some CRO videos. Love to see. I think just everything that they're doing with Trump. I mean, look at this. Insane, guys. Everything that they're doing with Trump, media, etc. CRO has They're clearly one of the favorites here in America. Them and Coinbase, I would say. Gemini also doing their thing as well. But just interesting to see these prices right now. BitTensor up around 2% as everything else bleeds. Interesting to see. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of BitTensor. Yeah, interesting to see. Pepe, very interesting to see. Pepe is up 0.52% considering their website got hacked. Not good to see there, guys. Yeah, Pepe's website got hacked. Not good to see. It's a freaking meme coin. I mean, there's a lot of diehard Pepe holders. I'm not going to lie. The market cap is $2 billion for a freaking meme coin. Insane. ICP, we had some questions about ICP last week. Pi, yeah, a lot of interesting stuff here. Ondo Finance, solid pick. We talked about Ondo with Sidel in our interview, so go check out that. You know, Ondo's only up 73% in its lifetime, but it's only been around for just under 2 years, basically. So, Ondo Finance is a huge institutional grade product for RWA. Stick around. We'll see what happens with Ondo, but that is basically it, guys. Caspa's still at around 5 cents. Insane buying opportunity in my eyes right there. Crazy. I mean, Caspa to 2x. That's like a no-brainer. It's going to happen so easily. Caspa back up to 10, 11 cents, like no-brainer. I mean, and then from there, the sky's the limit. Absolutely insane to see, guys. Yeah. So stick around. That's basically all I wanted to cover on this live today. Just a quick update. We'll be back again. Let's see. A couple more questions for you guys, actually. King. Crypto is the banking system with no feelings and no bloat. I see no lies. It takes a lot of money to facilitate all aspects of having and controlling fiat. And it's extremely complicated and manipulated. It's very confusing. Crypto eliminates all those things and frees up money while increasing security of value transfer. Absolutely. Do you hold XDC? I do not hold XDC. However, I will say this. Out of all the ISO tokens, I don't know why XDC always gets left behind. It's never mentioned that much. It should and could be mentioned in the same breath as XRP and XLM, but it's not. Kind of weird. Good question, though, King. Securitize is the company that works directly with BlackRock. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it is strange. It is strange. And it's also been around for a while as well. And even you know, it's been around for a while. No one's ever really talked about it. Always flown under the radar for some reason. I think BlackRock is keeping it low. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You know, we talked about Larry Fink. That protocol is not XDC. Gotcha. Okay, interesting. Good to know, King. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we talked about Larry Fink just now, talking about, you know, I was wrong on crypto, blah, blah, blah. We'll see what happens. Again, 2026 could be a huge year. Even if it's not, guys, and we just see trading sideways or minimal gains, I still implore everybody just to zoom out. All right, you know, we're just getting our legs under us now in regards to regulation and clarity, and the sky's the limit after that. It really is. But that's all I got for you guys in the stream. It's been almost 40 minutes. I will be back on again for one more stream later today, Thursday, December 4th. I appreciate all you guys for tapping in, not just King, you know, Chief the Yorkie, the Oracle. You guys are the freaking best. I'm sure I'll see you guys again in a couple hours when I tap back in. But everybody else on the stream right now watching, make sure you guys are subbed to the channel. You know, we have a goal here. We're trying to reach 2,000 subscribers, 3,000 subscribers really before the end of the month here, before the end of the year. So help us get there, guys. Appreciate it. And if you liked this video, you felt like you got any value from it, just make sure to like this video as well. Maybe share it with anybody, your mom, your dad, your dogs. I don't care. All right, but that's it. And I'm Crypto with Paul. Follow me on X. You can see it on the bottom scroll there. Follow us at the Coin Zone. Follow me, Crypto with Paul. I'll see you guys again in a little bit. Chief, King, the Oracle. I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace out, guys.